All right, good morning, everybody. This is like take 10 with this video. Uh, it was requested of me to do a video of the 35XXSP and the 34XXSP. Now, I've had both these for, well, ever since they launched. Both of them were ordered day one. I tried to shoot this and I got pretty far Saturday, but I didn't pay attention and the batteries were dying on both of them. So I had to scrap that. I got them both charged up, and then I was messing with the 35XX because I really haven't played on it in a while. And then I was playing around with some MuOS settings and ended up messing up the SD card. Pulled out the SD card, realized I was using a cheaper SD card, not one of the unbranded piece of shit. But one of the other ones actually has a brand, but not one you could just run out and buy in the store. So I had to fully set up this one again, and I ended up picking Newly. It's not something I ever put on a handheld because it is a pain in the ass to put things on it after that. So, mainly because I'm a PC guy, I don't deal with Mac. I think Apple's stupid. So, and I just triggered all of you with that, but that's fine. That's my opinion, man. I do repair and internet and all that, so I can tell you most of my business is Apple stuff. It breaks really easily. Um, anyway, so I put Newly on it and then had to go through the process of connecting this to a Wi-Fi network, putting my PC on the same Wi-Fi network, making it discoverable, and then transferring the files over, wireless, which is neat, but it's a lot slower than just taking your SD card, sticking it in your computer, and drag and dropping stuff. So the PlayStation folder took an hour to do on its own. And that was kind of a pain in the ass. Other than that, Newly's pretty neat. So, but let's skip past that. If you're wondering why everything looks different, well, this is my home office. Normally, I shoot all these videos in my work office before I start my day, and it's Sunday. I don't ever do a Sunday video. So, but I told this person I would get this video out yesterday, and everything went against me, so I couldn't do it. So I'm even struggling this morning to get it done. And this used to look different, but I had a whole studio set up right here. I took it all down, and most of that stuff's in my work office now. It became too hard to shoot in my home with 3 kids, a wife, and all the noises going on in the background. So we're going to get into it. So between both of these, I would say I use the 34XX the most. Up to this point, I have used the 34XX the most. And this came in at a good time. Around the time I got this, I was really getting into discovering the GBA library. Okay, I've always been a fan of Super Nintendo, and this aspect ratio here is wonderful for GBA and Super Nintendo. Okay, now if you're looking at picking one of these up and you look at older videos, everybody talks about this part right here and how big this is. You don't notice it. Okay, it's not that much bigger than the bottom. It's just slightly bigger. Okay, it just crops down that screen a little bit. As you play on it, as you have it, you don't notice it. The first time you open it, you might be like, "Oh, that's kind of big," but really, to me, it over time it doesn't feel that way. So this is the one running MuOS. I have it all the way down brightness wise. Let's do a walkthrough here. There's your auxiliary port. Little lanyard spot. We don't do lanyards. There's your internal card and volume. External card, reset power. There you go. And there's your charging, video out, your L's north. And then you got the little texture on the back. And then ABXY, start select, 2 Vita style joysticks, D-pad, and your little menu button. And then you got your LEDs on the side. So let's jump in. The lighting is all different in my home compared to my office. In my office, I got bright lights above me. Here, I got a small lamp running in the corner of the room that way. I also set up in like 6 different places to shoot this video. And the first one I set up, I realized in the background you could see about 40 handhelds stacked up, laying around. And if I showed that, you'd be like, oh, what the hell? I even have a cabinet full of them. And some mornings I'll wake up and I'll start going through them, trying to figure out what do I want to talk about? What video do I want to do today? It actually gets kind of annoying. So we're going to start up Castlevania here. Let's get some volume. Here we go. And I just woke up a little bit ago. I was up a few hours ago trying this, fell back asleep, and here I am. So when it comes to the 34XX SP, you get, of course, your speaker right here, dead in front of you. So it's firing that noise directly at you. It's great placement. I'll run through this. Sorry, the angle in which I have to shoot this stuff, I'm a lot closer to my stand, so it's cutting off a lot more of this. I apologize for that. So it is going to be hard for me to keep it centered where you can see the top and the bottom and all the buttons at the same time. Do I have... There it is. Come on, get through the dialogue. I should have picked something else. All right, here we go. So when it comes to it, remember, this only works for certain things. So what you got to do, if you want to use that, actually I haven't had to do this in a while. Let's go port 1 controls. See how it says no analog type. Let's do, I like to do left analog forced. There we go. Now the analog stick's working. So, and you can hard set that if you wanted to. That's if you really want to use an analog stick. I mean, a lot of people hate the fact that these exist. And I have to say, for the most part, I do hate having analog sticks on here, especially for the games I play. If I need an analog stick, I only need one. I don't need both. And I hardly ever go in and do this where I have to force analog on. And now with the Miu Mini Flip, not the Miu Flip, the Miu Mini Flip, I get a handheld around this size, a little bit smaller, no sticks, and a great screen. Which is why I haven't really played on either of these two in a while. And don't forget, the Powkitty V90S is also a very solid option and is almost identical to this one. So depending on where you're shopping, you know what I mean, you might want to go with the Powkitty. And you know what? I might grab that. We're in my home. I have every handheld almost here. So, but when it comes to the screen, the 34XX has an amazing screen. It looks really good. And like I said, as you play and you get that tunnel vision, you start ignoring its big old forehead. But look how good that looks. Now, Vita style sticks, I don't like them. Even though these ones are a lot like the Miu Flip, these ones actually have that rubber coating on them, so you get a little more grip. Your hand still kind of slides a little, but you're still going to position your thumb to where you kind of hit the edge where you feel more secure in your button press. But oh, silence that one, leave that on. Let's jump over here. All right, 35XX. Now, oh, you know what? PSP is I played a good amount of PSP on the 34XX because of the screen shape. I had a blast with that. I was actually found myself playing more PSP on this one than anything because you remember the PSP had a little stick. So there we go. All right, let's do the same thing. Anyway, when I set up newly on this and got into it, I ended up playing on this handheld for the rest of the day. Oh, look, there I am. Look, I got my hair all pulled back. I woke up and I looked crazy, guys. So I got everything like yanked back. Speaking of faux head, look like I got a 5 head. Look at that. Got everything all pulled back and look crazy. Ooh. Nice and loud. Let me drop that. So I got this one. The brightness is all the way down on it. Well, okay, one notch above all the way down. All the way down for this handheld does that. And then you just see me looking raggedy as shit in the morning. Wow, man. You see, I still gotta get up and like take a shower and all that. What the hell? Let's kick that back on. I'm doing this for you. So, newly, okay, it's that. You know what? And I wasn't even playing GBA or nothing on this yesterday. I found myself playing the PS1 version of Diablo 1. And I ended up playing that damn near all day. I didn't even realize how lost I got in it. It made me kind of miss playing on this thing. Oh, wait, newly is that. And remembering hotkeys becomes a real pain in the ass when you have all these different handhelds and they all, yeah. I mean, I could go through each one and set them up to be almost the same, but that's a lot of work. I'd rather just memory exercise it and try and remember. Okay, now we're back. So let's get up close here. Grab this one. Let's put everybody in about the same position. So as you can see, that's a little more pink. I mean, there is definitely a color difference. This one, even though I just turned the overlay off, it looks a little more washed out. But, you know, doing the settings, I also may have changed. I did. I changed the palette. That's not fair. Oh, I don't want scan lines. Half res. Oh, that looked bad. I want to wait. Go back to that. Half resolution. Oh, we pixel arting it now. You can't hardly see the weapon. I am going to start gaming in half resolution. Okay, I'm not sure where I started at, but I kind of screwed the pooch on that one. I'll have to play around and get the colors back. But you could get this one a lot closer to this. That is all my fault. But even where it's at now, not bad. Not bad at all. So let's look at a couple other things like size. Oddly, the 34XX, the posts, the cardinal directions on the D-pad feel a little bit longer. This one feels a little bit longer and slightly skinnier. This one feels a little bit shorter, a little bit fatter. But this one down here feels a little more, I guess, precise, and it feels a little better than this one. This one's not bad, and it feels fine. It feels a normal D-pad. But this one, I feel like when I'm hitting a cardinal direction, I'm dead on. This one, I feel like I'm a little off. Like, it doesn't feel like it's going straight down on it. Like, but that's something you're going to have to focus on to notice. Okay, when it comes to the phase buttons, these ones stand up a little bit more. And they don't have a whole lot of travel, but they have a little bit more travel than this. These ones are a little more low profile. These ones definitely stand up more. See? Feeling wise, I don't know. It feels like there's more there on the 35 because of how much further they stand out. And that's not, I mean, it's not a bad thing. These being all low profile, it feels like, I don't know, in the heat of gaming, you know, it feels like you might hit the wrong one, or well, you shouldn't, but it feels like you'll slip off of there. So start select, bigger, smaller, same thing. Speaker wise, let's get this somewhere with music. All right. Oh, shit. Of course, I'm somewhere where I can also get hurt. Okay, we can just make it a little muffled. There we go. So, all right, volume warning. I'm turning this one all the way up. 3, 2, 1. Okay. Let's kill that one. Now it's this one's turn. All right, volume warning all the way up. 3, 2, 1. There's kind of a staticky crackle when this one's at max volume. I've never noticed that. Let's do this one again. Now, it could just be the fact that it's GBA. No, it's not there. I mean, you can hear like a rumble slight, but that's probably just the audio track. Let's jump out of this. Let's do... Let me find something that matches here. That'll work. I haven't set everything up. This is where Newly started to win out for me because it was a little better setup. And I noticed with some of my more recent handhelds, depending on the handheld, the whole automatically increment save state really pisses me off. I hate that, and I turn it off on every one. But recently, there is the actual menu that you're on, the firmware operating system menu, also has increment saves turned on. However, I have about 2 handhelds now that there's not an option on the front end to turn off increment save. I could turn it off in RetroArch, but it still does it. And to the developers out there, turn that shit off, please. I don't want it to automatically start doing 2,000 saves. I know it's supposed to cycle through the first 10 and back, but I don't want to look through 10 saves. I don't. I use 1, maybe 2. You know, that second one is for split decisions, but seriously, knock that shit off. All right, let's jump into Breath of Fire 4 here because I want to do audio. You can definitely see color difference here. Maybe I didn't screw the palette up too much. Let's double check overlays real quick. Oh, Newly. Again, I gotta go down. It's the opposite. Nope, no overlay. Pretty sure I went through and set that. Yeah, I did. So this is all. This one has everything saved on it because I just set it up. So as you can tell, this one doesn't ever start with an overlay, or shouldn't, except for GBA because I didn't play GBA. Full screen hard set. Let's do this one. Let's get rid of the overlay. Scaling, sorry, I keep turning away. You know me, full screen, baby. I want to use it all. 3, 2, 1, hit them both. Okay. Yeah, big differences in them. Yeah, this one has that blue kind of cool hue, and this one is that warmer color. The screen's definitely better here. Give me a moment. We're going to make this more interesting. Come here, you. Come here, you. Okay. Oh, bumping the camera, sorry. Now, I know you wanted a direct comparison here, but obviously you're looking at clamshells, right? I have to bring these up. And of course, my Miu Mini Flip, I swapped over to MinUI. I love MinUI for smaller, quick play handhelds. I really do. Does this not have PlayStation? There's no PlayStation on this one. Nintendo, Game Boy, Super Nintendo, Virtual Boy, Sega. Okay. This is my sponsor's V90S, so whatever he did. But let's jump in here. Make sure I match brightness settings. This one doesn't get as bright, and there's no real overlay to play with, but in that setting, the Miu Mini Flip is directly between these two. It's a little bit cooler than this, but not as cold as that. And when I say cooler, go look at light bulbs and how they sell those. The color, the hue goes from cool white to warm. So let's do this. Looking through everything. Scaling, screen effect, line grid. I don't want to have full screen. Really? Okay, I got menu R1 set up. Sorry, I'm playing around now. And always check for frame skip. Turn frame skip off. Frame skip's not worth using. It makes the games feel like shit. So, since you're looking between clamshells, let's talk right quick here. This one has, this is the V90S. It has slightly better screen. I mean, I guess that's depending. Remember, you can always play with colors and get them the way you want them. And then if you only have one like this, ignorance is bliss. You have no idea what other screens look like, right? So this will look great no matter what. But the V90S has a softer kind of membrane D-pad. You don't get that click. Same with the buttons. You get a little sound, but that's just from the actual plastic. And over here, they're dome switches, so you can hear it snap, snap. And here, they're soft, kind of membrane. Now, speaker-wise, the speaker grill right here is functional on the V90S. But if you're looking, it looks like it's channeling. See, it looks like it's channeling the sound around. So the speaker's not firing at you. It's firing in a different direction and being forced out to you. So, however, I bring this one up because if you can find it cheaper than this one, it is a very good option. Okay, the V90S is very, very solid. Now remember, Powkiddy actually did a clamshell before all of these guys. They had the V90 clamshell. It was cheap. It felt horrible. But you know what never happened? The hinge never broke on the one I had. The hinge never broke on the... Shut up, cat. The hinge never broke on anybody's I knew. So Powkiddy's been doing this for a while. It's hard to... It's tough to say I put trust in Powkiddy, but they have stepped up their game so much. They are the quiet company in the corner going, yeah, we could do that. They do their thing. They make their money. They get up out. I respect that a lot. But I just wanted to show this one off. So let's get back to it. Between these two, which one should you go with? I mean, they're both rocking dome switches, a little taller on the buttons, a little shorter on the buttons. Both D-pads are clicky, longer, skinnier, shorter, fatter, feels more precise. I guess it's going to come down to this. If you're going to play GBA, Super Nintendo, and say even PSP, go for this one. The screen, I feel, is slightly better. Let me go down here. Let's show off some PSP for the screen. I don't need to do it here. You know you're going to get black borders on the top and bottom because you're running a 16:9 aspect ratio. But since I've played a lot of PSP on here, I will tell you, it works out. And having the analog stick is really nice for PSP games. Now, I like to use it for like Wild Arms XF, Valkyria Chronicles, things of that nature. So I'm not going to play like God of War and shit. I mean, it could. Kill the line back here. Can we speed up? We're going to let him drown for a second. So 1x rendering, full screen turned on. Frame skip is off. Okay. Oh, I always forget one here. So you still get the black bars. You get these little ones. Look at that. I mean, that's very itty bitty. And since it's, a better aspect, since you got that 3x2 thing going on, you're longer this way. Whereas on this one, you're going to be shorter here and still have bigger black bars here. So if you want to play PSP on the handheld, definitely go with the 34XXSP. If that's not really what you care about, you're fine with 4x3 stuff, you want to rock some PS1, whatever, this is a good one for that. This one's slightly more comfortable because it's bigger. If you want sticks, you have to go with this. Honestly, let's just do it this way. Super Nintendo, GBA, PSP. Game Boy, Game Boy Color, Nintendo, PlayStation. There's my take. Whatever the hell I want. I've been enjoying this one. They did a better job with this one. for me use sake. I like how much smaller it is than the rest of them. It's been my little pocket system. And sometimes it's nice to have a little pocket clamshell. You can just, whoop, you know what I mean? However, I'm running MinUI so it doesn't turn off when the lid's closed. See? But that's my problem. Anyway, let me know what you think. Like I said, this video was just for you on a Sunday morning. I don't do this very often, but I did promise I'd get this one out to you. So I apologize for the studio difference. Honestly, though, it kind of worked out. It looks better. Like, I'm not struggling with lighting as bad here. But my window, my opportunity in the length of time I have to shoot here is so limited before everybody gets up and around for the day that my actual work office is the better choice. And I am going to fix that. I got to get something else in, and we're going to move over to an OBS setup by the beginning of next year. All right, guys. That was it. This was for you. So tell me what you think. Hopefully I help a little bit kind of make your decision. If I didn't cover something or I missed something, you know who you are. Go to the comments, ask. I will give you my honest answer. So, and let me know which one you're going to decide on. So, I mean, I know it's a tough decision, but since I've been playing Diablo for PlayStation 1, I've been using the hell out of this lately. Well, since yesterday, not really lately. I guess that still counts as lately. But before, this was my go-to. I use this so much. I carried this one around a lot. When it came out, this was always in my bag. This one has seen more miles than this one. So, and this one started getting there. But then I got the Retro Pixel Pocket, and I've been lost in that thing. But this is making a comeback. So yeah, it really varies. But if you're going with this, please do yourself a favor and look between these two and make your decision, okay? Really kind of weigh your options. If the price difference is decent, the V90S is a solid choice. And you can get like the red one, and there's not a whole lot of color options. But this one, there you get red, green, whatever. And if that matters to you, get what you like, I guess. Even if it costs a little bit extra, go with what you like. Don't save $5 to get this when you want a red 35XX SP. All right, I'm going to end it there. I'm going to go enjoy the rest of my Sunday with my family. Considering it is Sunday, you guys will probably get a video from me by tomorrow or the next day. Most of my company was off for Thanksgiving. I got the day off. But then I was the only one at work Friday, the only one at work Saturday. I get today off, and I got to be back Monday. So, yeah, holidays aren't holidays to guys like me, man. Or we do the networking thing. We are busy as hell. Internet breaks, you got to fix it. All right, so I'll talk to you guys next week. Have a good rest of your weekend. Have a good rest of your Sunday. Hopefully this video did what you wanted. Like I said, if not, hit the comments. I'll do what I can for you. If I didn't cover something you want to cover, I will do my best to help. Okay, I know you're about to spend money. I'm trying to help. So, and let me know what you decided. All right, and also, not only let me know what you decided, but why. Is it because you want to play GBA, Super Nintendo, PSP more? Or is it because you want to play Game Boy, Game Boy Color, Nintendo, PlayStation more? Let me know. And, of course, with the original operating system and all, you can play with the color palettes, and you can make the screen look a hell of a lot better than it is. Even though you may look at this video and say, wow, that screen is terrible, it's not. It's going to look less through the video anyway, but when you're playing on this or when you have it, it is a wonderful handheld. You have no idea what's going on. You have nothing to compare it to. It's great. Like I said, ignorance is bliss in that case. And once you play with the color palettes, it'll be wonderful. Hell, I might throw MinUI on this so I could just quickly change that blending accuracy. All right, I'll see you guys in the next one.